And it proves where their mindset is at, because he's not thinking about his children at this point, not thinking about his wife, not thinking about, he's thinking about power. It's got him. It got him.
Yeah. He's drunk on the possibility of it.
He's powerful right now. He just killed his boss.
Yeah.
Listen.
And they're pretty sure they're going to get away with it.
I mean,
they've got a really good plan.
They're pretty solid on what they got, and it was way easier to get away with shit in the 80s.
Welcome to Flan Again, a Mike Flanagan rewatch, brought to you by the Articulate Coven. For more information on the original Anne Rice fan podcast and community, visit articulatecoven.com and find more about this show at articulatecoven.com/Flan Again.
Hi, welcome to Flan Again, a Mike Flanagan rewatch podcast.
Yeah, it is. You said it.
That's what we're doing.
That's exactly what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. Tonight's our last night with the House of Usher.
That's right, last night of Usher.
Last night of these terrible rich people. We're going to send them off.
That's so good. This is such a great culmination of everything. We're here to do this. Brat, how are you? I am doing weird. How are you, Ashley?
Really weird. Yeah. The start of this year has been very strange.
It's been an odd beginning. It's not bad, but it is weird. It is unusual.
It's unusual.
So it's,
we hope everybody out there is doing okay.
Yeah.
Keeping it together.
Doing it.
In this timeline, this strange timeline. TikTok's back, so...
What happened? I don't have TikTok, so I don't know.
It got banned for 4 hours, and then it's back. I don't know. Bread and circuses. Joel and I are excited.
I mean, great. I'm not against that. A lot of people make a lot of money off of that.
Oh, 100%.
One
thing I think about TikTok that's really fucking cool is I think that it's been such a great way for people who have never really had figured out a more mainstream way to kind of express themselves,
sure,
or express their art or things like that. And this really gives people a really fun little a fun way to do it in a way that's not necessarily I have to go move to New York City and audition to be in plays in this.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
That's very true. But I mean, go get them. Make your money off
Go get them. The talks of the ticks.
I don't know. I see them on Reddit.
Periwinkle 000 wants to know, Brett, what have puns done to you?
They're the worst. They're the worst joke out there. Everybody can love your dad jokes all that you want. They are painfully bad. But when you get a really good one, it's
quite satisfying.
It's quite satisfying. But everybody thinks that they're all good ones. They aren't.
Brett also tortures himself by voluntarily forcing us to play a game weekly at our improv shows that completely 100% just involves puns.
It does, but listen, got to have that club in your bag. I may not like it, but that doesn't mean you got to be able to do it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do it. You got to be able to hang with that kind of thing, because sometimes you're hanging out with nothing but lame-ass dads.
And you need to have your puns.
And you better throw some puns out there, because then you'll be like, ha, stop talking to me.
Or you'll never fit in with them.
Oh, then I want to fit in with the lame-ass dads. I am definitely that guy.
It's your target audience.
Target audience, lame-ass dads.
Yep.
They come for this guy.
We've also got a comment on the last episode, which was Pit and the Pendulum, where we saw Froderick go out in the best way possible. What a piece of shit. Oh, Lala Cutesy, who's been a really great fan throughout this, has been really engaged with us. Thank you so much.
Hey,
it's been awesome to chat. I also hope to never be dick out paralyzed. You guys are so funny.
Yeah.
Having you dick out unexpectedly, I think, is probably pretty shocking anyway, but then to be dick out paralyzed,
that's
quite vulnerable.
You're very vulnerable.
This episode, one of my favorites, the exchange between Madeline and Verna, is so good.
Yeah.
I know.
Man.
I like that it showcases how Madeline's overwhelming need for power blinds her own intelligence. She girl bossed a little too close to the sun when she made that deal with Verna, and still can't see why she has to pay for it. For fucking real.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it in this episode.
Yeah.
She knew, deep down, she always knew
course she did.
That this was a real fucking thing that was going to come home to roost eventually.
Yeah. She took precautions.
I agree with Ashley about Madeline betraying Roderick in the hopes of taking his place in the company. All of his powers, thanks to her, she should take his place. He may have found his footing eventually, but he would have been Frederick without her, for sure.
Yeah.
Frederick's death was fantastic, knowing all he ever wanted was the power his dad possessed, and in his last moments, he was the most powerless he could have ever been.
Yeah.
Would have liked to see him skinned inch by inch with how evil he was towards his wife, but his death was satisfying nonetheless.
Yeah. He did go very fast for like the amount of the amount of pain that he put her through.
Oh,
I mean, so yes, it could have it would have been very satisfying
but
if
at
he
least,
just got sliced like for over a very long period of time.
At least he got to be very aware of it.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's only so much time that you have in a show to show that.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't show a lot of it. That was pretty. I feel like that was one of the more graphic.
I mean,
deaths.
Yeah. I mean, just intestines all out.
Dick out.
Just dick out. Intestines out.
That's
baby, you're having a bad day.
You're gonna have
your dick and intestines are out.
Yeah. Oh no.
You're having a bad day.
Oh, we made it even worse.
Well, I mean, it's the reality of the whole situation. If you look at all of it, you look at all of it going on there at once. He got mushed, and God knows how long he lived under the mushing of all of that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, satisfying.
Great. Deserved.
Yeah, we like to see these well-earned, deserved deaths.
Yes, the comeuppance.
And here's our peak comeuppance episode. Episode 8, The Raven.
The Raven.
I love this episode so much because you see exactly what went down in the past. Like you finally, they made us wait 8 episodes for that whole reveal. I think most of us had figured out pretty much what went down.
Yeah.
But we actually get the full scene, all of it. It's
get it
so
laid
good.
out in front of you. Get everything out there so that you know exactly how it went down.
And Willa Fitzgerald is so good in this episode. She is the young Madeline.
Yeah.
She's so fantastic.
She shines
whole
in this
episode.
one. She shines in this
she
one.
really, really does. Mm-hmm. So shall we get started?
Let's go.
Okay. So we start off, it's Berna and Roderick in the basement after he's tried to kill himself with the pills.
Yep.
And like Madeline left him, she was pretty sure he was dead.
He was dead.
Yeah,
like, he
was dead. She was dead. She left with the pills in the hand, left the evidence. He wakes up, oh, not dead.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. And Verna's like, look, buddy.
Sorry.
And she runs him through some of his top death stats. You know, like we get a good the back of his baseball card of himself.
Absolutely. Get some stats in on him.
A fucking piece of shit CEO.
Yep. 84,000 in 1 year alone, and that's just in the United States. 84,000 people.
Yeah. Your tally is fucking impressive, Roderick Usher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sorry I couldn't accept your resignation.
I'm sorry I couldn't. Yeah, the numbers are locked in, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so she's really kind of pissed at Madeline. She's like, I can't believe she did that.
Of course she did
Of course she did. I mean, the audacity. She thinks she can get out of this.
Yeah.
Like, with the technicalities.
Of course she does,
technicality?
Like, nah, come on.
She tried to loophole me. She's so annoying. I love it.
Loophole me. Oh, she was so bent out of shape.
Yeah.
Oh, so furious.
Yeah. And then she's standing right in front of the wall.
Yeah, just
the wall, the torturous wall.
Supermodel.
God, gorgeous.
Against the wall.
And her costume looks amazing. Her boobs look incredible. She looks
stunning.
So stunning. And you hear the little bells jingling, and she's talking about, the market opening, being opened by Representative Fortunato Pharmaceuticals. Mm-hmm. And then the wall just starts to shake and starts to dust and all kinds of shit.
And it gets that weird, uncomfortable dream kind of crescendo of things like that. It's great.
Yeah.
Then just... Blah.
And then we get the best jump scare.
Oh, yeah. Great jump scare.
And maybe the best jump scare in this series. This series doesn't really have a lot of jump scares. Mike Flanagan is a boss at them. He's so
very good. He showed off a lot of his, really good tricks in this last episode of as far as how he films. But this jump scare, the Jester jump scare and that.
Because we see Roderick is turning around to go down the hall, and boom, the Jester
jumps out at him, and he's like,
yeah. Yeah, and we get our next.
Fiendish.
Yeah, it is really scary, and you forget that's a thing we haven't had resolved yet. This Jester.
Well, that it is. You don't know.
We still don't know at this point who the Jester.
He saw a Jester. What the fuck is this for?
Is this so fucking weird? Why is this a thing?
Is this part of his dementia? What is that? Yeah, that's not been.
How is
explained.
this related to everything else?
Yes. Why is this Jester coming for him?
Yeah. We flash to Lenore and Pim.
I love this scene so hard.
It's really good.
Everybody is so... Oh.
Yeah, he's not used to anyone disagreeing with him.
No.
And Lenore's like, go fuck yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Like, she is not having any of it.
Nope.
He tells her that the cops are going to tear up her statement. She's going to get to give them her real statement now.
Yep.
And she's like, that was my real statement, asshole. He fucking tortured my mom.
Tortured my mom.
Like, that's what happened.
No, you don't understand. You got to get into the... Nope. She doesn't care.
Yeah, she does not give a damn. He even gives her the whole line. Like, your mother understands the importance of the family business. She understands the importance that we have we give this certain appearance, that we all need to be united. And she's like, then you're not ever going to talk to her about any of this.
I'm out. We're out. We're done.
We're done with you. I am done with you. I am done with this bullshit. And she just fucking walks away and is like, I'm ready to give my statement.
Yep. Walks right back. I'd like to give another statement.
Yeah. Since you tore up my other one, I'm ready to.
Tremendous.
Yeah, she's like, maybe I forgot a couple of fucking things.
Yep. I mean, really laying it to him. And this is the first time you can see Arthur is going, oh, God.
Yeah, something is out of his control.
Yeah, it's out of his control. There's nothing he can do about it. It's just... Because normally he intimidates everybody. Yeah. Everybody is frightened of him in one way or another. She's done, which I would think anybody would be at this point. Like, no, mom got all of her teeth ripped out, and dad's a psychopath.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and she knows he's dead by this time. She's like, he fucking did a bunch of drugs and got himself killed. Like, this isn't not.
Yeah,
like,
no, he went he went cuckoo.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the best thing you could say about your father at that point is like, he went nuts.
Yeah.
That's how you have to explain it.
We have to protect his reputation and shit. She's like, go fuck off, dude.
Yeah, fuck off. He lost his mind.
It's so good. I love that scene.
Lost his mind. She's very good in that.
She is. She's very powerful. And she's showing that side of that we do not see in any of the other ushers.
No.
You know, that side that's like standing up for what they truly believe is the right thing to do. Yeah.
The only other
she's
usher.
an usher by name only.
But,
not
that's right. She's not an usher.
Yeah.
Usher.
Thank God. Otherwise they would.
Man.
This one would probably be a real nightmare too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pim, from that scene, it really segues really brilliantly into...
segues in this episode
are smooth as shit.
They're so cool.
Because there are a lot of jumps, and there's a lot of narration, not narration, but like a voiceover happening while you're going through a couple of other scenes, and there's a lot of information to get through. We move pretty quickly.
Got to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah. So Pim and Roderick are having a talk, and Pim's like explaining to him, like, she's fucking gone rogue. Oh, Lenore's gone rogue. She's going to do what she said. It's going to say what she says.
Yep.
Like, I could not fix this. And he's like, well, I'm actually kind of proud of her. You know, she's showing some integrity that literally none of us have.
Yep.
You know, and he gives credit. Anytime he talks about Lenore being good, he gives credit to Annabelle.
Yes,
because
like her grandmother.
She's like her. She's the only one that's like her grandmother.
Yeah.
Madeline walks in and she's real surprised. To see Roderick alive, but she doesn't give away much. She just is like, huh. And Roderick acknowledges it. He's like, you must be surprised to see, like, says something like, along those lines.
This is awkward.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
this is awkward.
And he looks nuts.
Yeah.
Like, he's got that same kind of, with that, walking around with the Kopesh eyes.
Yeah,
like, he's going.
Wildly unhinged in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's figuring it all out. Like, that's the thing. His brain has gone, oh, I see what all just fucking happened to me.
Right. Yeah. And then still... I don't know, to still not be sure which parts are real and in your head because of your disease. And it would just...
I think at this point, he gives into it fully.
Oh, yeah. No,
like, I think that he's like, no, I am on the ride and this is my reality.
Yeah, this is real. This is crazy shit
Everything's happening and I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's this bitch from the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he tells her she wouldn't let me die. There's a great line in this too. But he acknowledges that, like, Verna wouldn't let him die.
Yeah.
She was like, she just wouldn't let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But he asks, he's like, we find out that Madeline's been elected CEO.
Oh,
by the board. How did that happen? No one saw that coming. I love this move. Mm-hmm. I do. I fucking love it. Man. But he's talking about, like, how betrayed he feels, and he's like goes after Pim a little bit. Like, when did you guys decide to do this? Right?
Oh yeah. Well, he calls it, and Pim's like,
maybe. I don't know. That's probably when the conversation started.
Well, of course it would. That's the responsible fucking thing to do when the head of the company is about to be deranged.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, Madeline, what was it? Did you see the math on the wall? And she was like, it was equal parts math and mercy.
Yeah.
Because
it's just good math.
He can't do this. He can't do this job right now. He's fucking nuts.
No.
Like there's crazy shit happening all around them,
Dude.
but he is also round the bend.
Even
you
if
know?
you weren't cursed by whatever Egyptian hollow earther this thing is, like all of your kids just died. You're not going to be in any sort of way to do anything.
No,
other than just be nuts. That would drive you mad.
Yeah, I think that would any sane person.
Yeah, anybody with any sanity and any decency that would destroy. It would break you down to your foundation.
Yep. Yep.
Horrible.
We go back to Augie and Roderick in our current, like at the current time, and
back in the dark house,
back in the dark, creepy house, and Augie's like is just irritated with him. He's like fucking dragging this whole thing out, and what I want to see is justice.
Justice. Like, he's like, what do you want? I want justice.
I want justice.
Whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He wants justice. And he's like, I think you're going to get to see it. I think you're going to get to see it.
Pretty sure if you hang out here long enough, you're going to watch all this unfold.
Here in a few minutes, I think you're going to get to see it. Like, there's a lot of lines like that in this episode that carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
A lot of weight behind them.
And then you find out things later that make it mean even more.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's just all of these lines, if you read into it just a little, oh, man, so good. I like the line he says about... because Lenore keeps texting him.
Yeah.
And
his phone is like buzzing constantly.
Just buzzing constantly. And he's like, I'm a lot like Tamerlane in that way. I'm outsourcing intimacy.
Yeah.
I was like, that's interesting. That's interesting that's what she got from him in like the longest, farthest way. Wild.
So weird. So weird and strange.
But it was such a great... for both of those characters that they have that kind of connection with one another.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think anytime he acknowledges his kids in what feels like a real kind of parental way in any sort of way is nice to see. Just because he's so disconnected from the reality of everything, of his behavior and of how poorly he treated his kids, you know, and how he set them up to fucking eat each other alive frequently.
That was the plan. Yeah. That was all, man. That's how it was supposed to work.
And during the scene when Lenore's texting him, he talks about Lenore being really good and being like Annabelle. And he talks about how he turned the kids away from Annabelle, that he lost, that she had custody in the divorce because she eventually leaves him. So she had custody in the divorce, and that just slowly, that fucking drove him crazy. He hated it. And it wasn't even because he wanted them.
No, it's because he couldn't lose.
He just lost.
He lost something that he had and was pissed about it.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. But he's like, he acknowledges that he destroyed what was in them that was like her. I choked it out of them.
I bombed them with money. Mm-hmm. I bombed them with money, and just I bought them. I mean, he bought those kids. Wait until they're old enough to understand what it is, and then just bomb them with cash. No, what kid is going to be able to resist that? No, I mean, nobody's going to be able to resist that.
Well, and it's like, it's probably something that happens a lot in divorces where like one parent isn't getting to be around their kids as much. So when they are, they kind of love bomb the shit out of the situation.
Absolutely.
This is like taking it to the worst fucking place you could take it
Unlimited resources. Unlimited resources to be able to do whatever you want and get them away there. And every time they came back home, there was a little bit less of them there.
Yeah.
A little bit less of them came back.
So gross.
He just
and then
riched them out.
Yeah. Eventually, whatever other mother that was left in them was gone. And that's why he loves seeing that quality of her in Lenore, because he knows that he killed it in his own children.
Yes, yeah, it didn't make it.
It
didn't make it throughout. Yeah.
It's so awful. And then he says, I saw her today. And we get a flash to the funeral. And this scene's really fantastic. This is a really, really great scene for the gal who plays Annabelle Lee. Because she's fucking
incredible.
And this
cold.
she's cold, she's angry.
She's righteous.
She's brokenhearted. She is righteous.
Yeah,
she is righteous, and she
righteous.
is fucking right in this scene,
dude. That's so good.
She's sitting in the back, and the funeral home's full. I mean, the church is full of people. She's sitting in the back. He turns around and sees her, and the next thing that you see is like it's dark. It's only the two of them.
It's empty. It's two of them,
and he's walking towards her, and is like, "How are you here?" And she just starts in on it immediately. She's like, "He's rich." That's what I would tell people.
That's what I would tell people
when they asked me how you did this,
how you took my kids
how you
away
took
from
the
me.
kids away from me.
Yep.
He's rich, and you don't understand what that word means.
Yeah.
And and it's really true because, and I think that we're
you gorged them. You'd allow them to just gorge themselves, and you didn't feed them.
Yeah, you starved
them,
and less came back until they were empty.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's just like having a really hard time listening to this.
It's somebody that you loved and respected and everything like that, and then holy shit, you look the exact same, and it is the going back to the point where like this is the best person I probably have ever known, and should have been with,
and I had her, and I lost her,
pissed it away,
fucked it all up,
pissed it away,
because he doesn't ever really seem like sad about her until this.
he has to hide it. I would think like it's something that is it's too close to his.
Well, and he knows why she left him. She left him because he's a shit person.
Yeah, because he's not a good one. He ain't a good one.
Yeah,
he's not a good one at all. Because it's so. Oh, I see you. I finally see you, and I see you. The poverty of you.
Yeah. I used to think you were rich. You're not rich at all.
Not rich at all.
You're not rich
the
at all.
Poverty of you.
That
what a
line,
hell of a thing to say to somebody you can shatter.
Yeah.
Just
that is probably saying to you the meanest thing you can think of. Like the worst thing you could say.
The worst, most honest.
Because she's taking away, with that statement, she's taking away everything that he's built up.
Money, power, everything. Yep.
It's worth nothing because you are
you. It doesn't matter. You're poor. You're nothing.
Oh, yeah. I fucking love that scene.
It's so good.
She walks up towards the caskets. She walks past him, and you see that she has a gunshot, an exit wound in the back of her head. Mm-hmm. So clearly that's what happened. She killed herself. She killed herself not long after the events because she's still quite young.
Because she's quite young.
She looks the exact same, except she's got shorter hair.
Yeah. Dude.
And it's awful.
What a great little detail.
Yeah.
That it's just thrown in there that if you're watching.
Because there really is no explanation to what happens to her outside of seeing that, That's saying
a lot by doing a little that not even everyone's going to catch.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, for sure. If you got your fucking your lighting turned down too far on your TV, you might miss that completely.
You might miss that shit.
Fucking in the dark.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah. We flash to the past. It's Roddy and Annabelle, and they're fighting about
when he gets home. Like, as he walks in the door.
Yeah, what
the fuck, Roddy?
What the fuck was that, dude? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, what are you doing? And he's a different person. This is the first time you really see him interacting with her in this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
He's kind of condescending to her. He's very dismissive,
like Madeline was when the two of them were speaking alone.
Yeah,
it's very condescending. He's like, I didn't expect you to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything, Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, absolutely, it does.
Yeah, it means something. You are just like,
of course, I don't understand this. I'm a good person. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're trash. What are we trying to pull here?
I can't have you. I can't have you around my fucking kids. You're a fucking.
I have to go.
I gotta go. I can't be here.
I have to go. And then she's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
The realizations that she's having throughout this scene, I don't know you. And that person that I loved, I made him up.
I think I made him up.
I think I made him up.
Yeah. You're not him, are you? I think I made him up.
I think I made him up.
And she's so heartbroken.
And that's a hell of a thing to say to anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
And I think sometimes, I was in a relationship bad enough that I looked at someone one day and I was like, boy, this person is not the person that I made them out to be.
This is not who I thought they were.
I have 100% made this person a way better person than they are.
Yep. That happens. I mean, I think that's
and when you realize that it's like, oh, gross.
Oh, man.
And you're like, I've been fooling myself.
I'm doing all these concessions when I didn't need to. But yeah, I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That is such the transition there is really good into that scene as well. And they just...
Yeah, because it's actually after this scene that we see the back of her head.
Yes,
it's not before. It's a really well done editing. Like, good job to the editor.
Yep.
Fucking ever since I watched Breaking Bad and I listened to that podcast, the Breaking Bad Insider podcast was done by their editors. The host was one of their head editors, and it was such a great podcast. But I learned so much about how editing really, really does. Yep. Play a huge part in the way the story flows.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he has a great editor. I'm not sure who does that. I should look that up. But
yeah, we need to check that out.
That is a brilliant person who's doing very fine
incredible work. In this, especially, just beautiful. All of it is so great.
And then we kind of get like a replay of the scene in the first episode, which is Roddy leaving the church, seeing the Raven. Seeing the jester in the car, collapsing, and then it's time, which to now means something entirely different.
Absolutely,
to us, as it's like he's having this you realize that he has a realization of that what's really happening.
Yes,
it is time. The ravens have come home to roost.
Yep, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I like that scene so much. I like that they did it so many different times so you could realize exactly where Roderick's mind was at. I mean, you catch it a couple times and he seems very powerful, but the more and more you go through it, you are like, oh, how's this guy actually walking?
He's like splintering apart.
Yes, he's shattered. Like, how is this guy still putting one foot in front of another? It's.
And then you kind of literally see it a little bit later when he is walking around barefoot, and we see like his feet, and he's walking, and he has walked for the first time. He seems old.
He does. Yes,
this man has never seemed old. Their characters are 73. He never feels old until these times.
Yeah.
It's very, very. It's such a great way to kind of, shadow the way his mind is splintering and everything's just swirling out of control around him.
Great way to show a different perception of the same thing over and over, just by context, changing it so much. Yeah. Just delightful.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So we go back, we flash back to Roddy and August really quick. And he's like, Roger, it's time. It's like, time. And that comes right off of the it's time. That three repeated from Roderick. And he says, it's time, Roderick. There are no bodies there are no more bodies left. And then Roderick offers him a drink again. He says, are you sure I can't tempt you? And he says, no. And Roderick says, what does he say there? Wish I would have said that. Wish I would have said that. And then we flash to a New Year's party that we have not seen yet.
No. Yeah, so this is a different New Year's
This
party.
is the New Year's party that they start at.
Yes.
They had started
at
the
Fortunato one.
So this is the Fortunato business
Christmas party.
New Year's party at the new building.
Reminds me a lot of the how the party looked in Scrooge when they do the flashback.
Yes, it did. It really kind of did remind me of that too.
Yeah, this is great 80s.
Yeah, great
office
80s
party.
Office
Everybody's
party.
drinking and being wild.
Office parties in the 80s were such a fucking wild time. Late 70s.
You get away with everything. At work.
People just openly smoked.
Yeah, just smoking and hanging out and just drinking.
Grabbing asses. Fucking martinis at lunch.
Everybody's dressed up in different costumes and stuff. There were a guy dressed up as the Pope. There were several popes there.
Yeah, this was a costume party.
It was a costume party. So there were a lot of different costumes and different people doing stuff.
Which we see the fucking jester is there. And who is in the jester costume?
Oh, no.
It's Rufus Griswold.
Rufus Griswold shows up in that thing.
Oh, dear. We find out that he's the guy in the fucking jester suit.
Yep.
He takes off his mask and hat, and he is immediately, like, sucking Roger's dick in front of everybody.
It's like, look who's the man.
Yeah, he's like, this is the guy. This is the future of Fortunato.
Yep, the man is in town. Let's go.
I don't trust trust anyone like I trust this guy.
Yep,
He's
out
going to have
there.
our backs. He's going to lead us into the fucking future.
When everybody's like, yeah, all right,
awesome.
that guy, he took care
Sounds
of us.
good.
All right, that's good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And Roderick's getting what he wants. You're like kind of excited for him. You're
Well,
like,
I mean, the two of them are... Rufus is in between them, and they keep shooting glances to each other as he is saying all of the things that they knew he was going to say.
And they want him to say.
That they want him to say. They're setting him up. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And then, they're having more of a conversation, the three of them, and he's like, you're my right-hand man, and I've told everybody about it.
That's right, everybody.
Your office, I just sent some new blueprints up. Your office going to be right next to mine.
Right next to mine. I told the board.
Yeah.
I told the investors.
Yeah.
You're the one. You're the man.
You are the man, the one. So it's time to celebrate.
It's celebration time.
So Madeline is offering him a glass of what, Brett?
Amontillado.
Amontillado. Oh, what's that a reference to? My fucking favorite story of all time, The Cask of Amontillado.
It's very good.
It's very good. This is the story in which again, an unreliable narrator because it's Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, yes.
He is fucking pissed off that this guy has like slandered him and done him wrong for the last time.
Oh. He will not take the slander.
He will not take the slander, and to get revenge, he bricks him into a wall down into his
wall in the basement,
down into the catacombs.
Yep.
Basically, his family's crypt.
Yep, down in the
fun
crypt.
Stuff down in the basement.
Put you in a wall, just wall you on in there.
Yeah,
that's a rough way to go.
It's pretty intense. Well, they have a toast with this lovely expensive wine.
Very, very expensive. He says it's more than your
annual salary,
but your old annual salary because your new one.
Yeah, which is also the same fucking thing that Roderick says to Augie in like the first episode when he's offers it to him.
Yep.
You want to taste what a year your salary? You want to see what a year your salary tastes like?
Mm-hmm.
So fucking the things that he picked up from Rufus Griswold show how much, even though he detested him, he wanted to be him and admired him.
Yes.
It's so gross.
Guy was ruthless, but he knew what he was doing. He was good at most of the business. He got sloppy.
Yeah.
but
yeah. Well, they have their little toasty thing and our Rufus just throws it back.
Y'all, you need to learn this trick. This is a good trick at parties. Everybody's cheering. Hey! Just give it a sniff.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it a good sniff. You just...
Didn't drink it at all.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
And you can and if you really want to sell it, give it a little satisfied at the end a little.
And then, or maybe you could even say, oh, someone's trying to rush you along. You can say, oh no, I want to savor this. Which is what Madeline says.
Drink up, bottoms up. No.
As she's not drinking it at all.
No, like we're savoring this.
Roderick's going to go to the bathroom. He's watching what's happening between Rufus and Madeline. We end up in the basement of Fortunato. Yes.
70 stories tall.
Yeah, very excited about this building, how this building's going to be.
Absolutely.
It's clearly like not finished. None of the building's finished. It's just in its kind of like nascent phases. But
yeah, they're just building
and they're building it.
Fleshing it out, making it look good at this point. All the pipes, everything's up and all that stuff. They're just, all right, let's get it so it looks nice.
Yeah. So they're in the basement and she is clearly like seducing him.
Oh.
They are about to.
Well, she licked his ear.
Yeah, they're about to fuck.
Yeah.
They're about to fuck in the basement.
He thinks that's the jam.
He's so excited. He's like, I have been wanting to fuck this broad since the moment she walked into my office. I am the man. Like, he is really pleased and proud of himself.
Oh, could not be happier.
She's leading him around through the basement. She's being really aggressive and sexy with him. And then she says, she walks away from him and she says, now if you can walk over to me, you can do anything you want to me.
Before that, he's like, don't worry about it. We can make all the
noise he does say that.
We can make all the noise we want down here. No
one can hear us down here.
Nobody will hear us down here.
Which is good information to have.
Absolutely. But yeah, then it's she pushes him around.
Yeah, she's like
and getting his blood flowing a little bit, and then throws him down onto that scaffolding to sit there, and it's just like, all right, you stay.
Yeah, stay.
Like she's coming in and he's eating it up.
Yeah, he's very excited.
Oh shit!
This bossy bitch.
This is gonna be great. I prefer you this way.
He says that. Yeah,
I prefer you this way. I thought you were a wet fish or whatever the hell he called her.
Yeah, it's so gross. But yeah, he's just being real scummy.
Yep.
But then he starts trying to walk over to her, and he's like stumbling.
He's
all over
struggling,
the place.
like not more than just drunk stumbling.
Not drunk stumbling.
Oh, God. Like, not just getting up and teetering. He's falling to a knee hard and getting back up and then falling down again.
So he collapses and right at her feet. And when he comes to, he's what? Handcuffed.
Handcuffed to a pipe?
Handcuffed to a pipe.
With a candle burning next to him, and he's just sitting there handcuffed to these pipes. And you just hear shing, shing, like it.
Yeah. He's like, what is this? It's a hostile takeover.
Hostile takeover, she says.
Yeah. They are bricking him into this wall.
Absolutely. Bricking his ass in there, and just... Roderick's not looking at him. He's making mortar.
Yeah, Roderick isn't speaking for most of this. What goes down is mostly between Madeline.
Yes, the speaking is between
and Rufus. You know, and
for the most part.
and they are, everybody's just, the two of them, Roderick and Madeline, are just chill as fuck as they are doing this.
Like
they are,
blooded.
Man, this is
happy,
delighted. It's time we're doing this.
It's finally giving that piece of shit what he deserves, and it's delightful. They just have glee in their eyes, and it is that kind of really enjoying murdering somebody kind of thing.
And he's like, but I know I shouldn't have set Roderick up like I did.
I should have made him a patsy. That was wrong of me. Obviously, I didn't know who I was dealing with, though. And you guys, we're all in the same team now. What the fuck is happening? And she's just playing with him. Oh, toying with her food.
Like he's a mouse. And it is hilarious. She's like, yeah, that's all true. But you know what? It doesn't mean, just because they dropped the case doesn't mean the feds weren't right. Like, there's rot within this company.
That's right.
And
you can't keep anybody that's currently at the top.
The man responsible has got to go.
Yeah.
For the good of the company.
How deep do those roots run?
Well, and who can we trust? Maybe the guy that's like everyone trusts right now. And even Rufus was like, he is unimpeachable.
Yeah.
He's the best guy we know.
The guy. He's my right-hand man. Like, this is somebody that and has proven that he already escaped the hangman's noose.
The crazy thing about this is they don't have to do any of this, because what Roderick did was going to set him up for success within the company.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't going to happen as quickly.
Not as fast as they wanted.
Or in the way that they probably wanted.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So this they are taking their family's company back.
Yep. And I like he's sitting there. I mean, he goes through all the stages. She's like, oh, I thought we were going to get out of this stage. And he's just screaming at him. Like, I'm going to cut you to pieces and fuck every piece. And it's like, well, I'm not letting you out then.
Yeah. Right. Thank you for that. That was like a death threat. Yeah. So this is self-defense now.
Self-defense now.
So funny.
Good. And she just picks him apart of every little thing he says. And he starts realizing, oh, shit.
Yeah.
As the bricks get higher and higher.
And they're not, their pace never changes.
No.
It's just this relentless commitment to what they're doing.
Yeah.
And Madeline runs down exactly what their plan is.
Absolutely.
You know, like we're gonna take all this to the board and you know what, it's despicable that you ran off in the midst of all this.
You would
run away to an island probably somewhere with no extradition and just leave this mess and no one knows where you went, and you just left so you
knew everything was going to really come home to roost and all this shit was going to come out. So he took off. He left. I mean, what a selfish bastard.
Yeah. And the whole thing is obviously just setting Griswold up. I mean, setting Roderick up to be the CEO. It's like the board's going to elect him in. We're not going to have any trouble with it. Then we're at the point that this is pretty. The wall's gotten pretty tall,
pretty high up at this point, and he's
kind of getting quiet.
Well, he's getting quiet, and he's like, "All right, I'll give you money."
Oh yeah. Before
I'll give you $3 million.
Yeah, $3 million each.
What do you want? You want to be COO? What do you want?
What do you want?
I was thinking COO. She's like, and even in this moment, he's like, well, sure. Yeah.
That's a good goal.
In time, after a while, like,
no, that's why I'm fucking rolling your ass up
this
in
is
here.
what's happening, dude. Dude.
Yeah, she reaches in, she puts his mask back on him.
She's like, oh yeah, I can't forget this.
And then the bells are like, jingle, jingle, jingle. And she tells him that the candle will last for an hour.
Last you about an hour.
And then after that, you're going to be in the dark. And then she puts in a really special brick.
That's right. Yeah. You are so
small. And that's what he's
scrawled really cool on the back of this brick. You are so small.
So he just gets to stare at that until the fucking candle goes out.
Until the candle goes out, you are so small. And then they just keep brick, and he doesn't speak.
Yeah, then after that he's quiet.
He just what are you supposed to say?
Yeah.
What are you going to say at that point?
And then they finished the job. They're sitting there kind of facing the wall.
Another great scene. These two sitting there kind of like, it's almost like post-sex.
Yeah, post-coital. Post-coital. It is really kind of weird. Like smoking a cigarette and talking about how that went.
Satisfying as fuck.
She says, they're like concerned about the noise, about he might make noise. Are you sure no one's going to hear him? She's like, no one's going to be here for a week because it's a holiday. No one's going to be here for a week. Mm-hmm. She was like, plus he's not going to last very long because of the cyanide.
Plus the cyanide.
They poisoned him proper.
Yep.
And she says she couldn't believe I can't believe he couldn't taste it. He really didn't know shit about Sherry.
Yeah, just
so fucking
what a bitch. Like him, like her just calling him a little bitch.
Yeah,
it's just like
so disgusted by him. He is just what a fucking what a fraud. What a fucking fraud. What a
rube of a man.
What a rube.
Yeah,
so funny.
But both of them are like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was a piece of shit. That was great.
And so.
What do we do now?
Roderick's like, okay, we go back to the party for a little bit, hang out. And Madeline's like, no, I think a better plan, because they clearly have planned. They've got this plan.
Oh, this is out.
So their intention is to go back up to the party, hang out for a little bit, and then probably leave. And she's like, no, I think it's better that people saw us leave together. It's like a little messier.
Yeah.
So she's like, if anybody asks, if the cops come, I fucked him in his car, and then he drove off to get some blow.
Yep.
And you and I went to a second location.
Yep.
And that's the plan.
And that's what we tell the cops. That's the whole thing of the cops.
And that's what we've been seeing when we've been flashing into Verna's bar that night.
Question. Do you think the use of another brick in the wall is a little on the nose?
I wrote that's the best use of Pink Floyd I've ever seen.
All right, great.
Because it's also like not... It's just, like the way it's used is so...
It's not heavy-handed.
Yeah, it's not heavy-handed.
Like,
I like it. What do you think? It's a little?
That was my question. I don't know. Like, that's what do you guys think? Like, that's the thing. Is that too on the nose? Because there was part of me that was like
cringy.
Okay, but I mean, it wasn't heavy-handed. Like I said, it's not. He didn't beat you over the head with it. But at the same time, I was a little. All right, but if you're having that meeting and you're like, we can get Pink Floyd on this, then why wouldn't we? That's hilarious. Somebody will laugh at that. A lot of people will laugh at that and think that that's great.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that it is bad.
No.
Because I would have made the same choice given the option.
I fucking love it. I love it.
Yes, but I wanted to ask the question.
No, I think it's a good question. It is a good question to ask because it is a little on the nose. But I think it is because it's that like a little bit of the intro and it sounds a little like it's been remixed, or
it is a different version. Yeah, it's not Pink Floyd's.
Yeah, but
it's the hints of it and it's around it. Yeah,
yeah, it's very funny. Brick that motherfucker in that wall. What an ass.
Yeah.
Then their flash is back. So we're back at Verna's bar. It's the end of the night. It's after last call.
Everybody's gone. Bar's closed. Just the three.
Here's the cool. We've hung out in bars with bartenders or owners after they've been closed, and it's so much fun.
It's a blast.
It's always so much fucking fun. So this situation, which is like a really, to me, like a known, very fun moment that you can have in life, is also horribly threatening and a little scary because the undertones of it are so witchy and strange.
Unusual, it doesn't feel right.
Nothing feels right about any of this.
It's a little like the light is fuzzy, and like it's a little too ethereal to be reality. It's the lighting in it is kick-ass. It's really cool.
Yeah, and they're talking about deal breakers, like what's a bridge too far for you, basically. If you're pursuing riches and fame and whatever you're pursuing in life, like most people have a point that's too far.
Everyone has a threshold qualifier, as she said.
Yes, and for Madeline, she doesn't want any fucking thing if it means serving at some man's pleasure.
Yep.
And that's her line. She doesn't want to fucking deal with men bossing her around for the rest of her life.
Fair.
She is done. Sister, we are here.
That's
I understand that completely. She tells us a really great story about like this woman who was like rich and fabulous at a place she had seen her, but she saw the man she was having to put up with to be that, and it was fucking disgusting.
She's like, I couldn't do it. I was like, no, that ain't for me. I can't do that kind of life.
And Roderick's like, I don't think I have one.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know that I have a point, you know? And she's basically like, you know, what would you be willing to do for all the money and all the power and a lifetime of luxury?
Yep.
And then she's like, based on one of their responses, she's like, you're a killer.
Oh, you're a couple of real killers.
You're a couple of real killers, aren't you?
Killers. And this is where she starts tipping her hand a little bit.
So this is where they're like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you killed Rufus Griswold tonight. Yeah. And you're here setting up an alibi, you know, which is like exactly what they're doing.
And lays it out to what they're doing. Both of them are kind of shitting their pants a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, because it's fucking weird. She knows what they've done.
Yeah, how would she know? Like, it's like, that would be a wild thing after a really weird night.
Yeah.
Like, that whole conversation is not tainted, but definitely charged because we murdered a guy earlier, and now I feel powerful because I killed someone.
Yeah.
And I'm about to get what I want, and then having all these questions. So, yeah.
And we had the balls to do it. It's not just like... Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had the balls to take what we wanted.
We took what we wanted. Yeah. We reached out, grabbed it by the throat, and took what we wanted.
Yeah.
And it's very twinged with that. And it proves where their mindset is at, because he's not thinking about his children at this point. Not thinking about his wife. He's thinking about power. Got him. It got him.
Yeah. He's drunk on the possibility of it.
Yeah, he's powerful right now. He just killed his boss.
Yeah. And they're pretty sure they're going to get away with it.
I mean,
they've got a really good plan.
They're pretty solid on what they got, and it was way easier to get away with shit in the 80s.
Well, and then Verna's going to sweeten the deal. She's like, what if I could guarantee you that you would get away with this?
You'll get away with this.
You'll get away with it. You won't ever have any legal consequences ever.
No legal consequences. Yep.
You know, and she's like, I just want to see what you'll do. You know, I'm going to give you this company. You can do great things. You can do horrible things. I just kind of want to see what you. Yeah, you just have no legal
consequences. I want to see what you two do.
This is the moment when luck meets opportunity.
Yep. Great. What a great line. It's can you feel it?
Yeah. Oh,
we're outside of time and space. It's the moment where luck meets opportunity. It's a great, like, weird. What a weird thing to say, but at the same time, there's luck and opportunity.
You know, and sometimes you meet people that like say things that you're like, whoa, that's a little out there and strange. But also, what if that's like legit? You know, and this whole night is so strange and so confusing and so not quite real. Yeah. You know, it's so interesting, and they shoot it so well that you feel all of those things along with these two fucking morons. And they're like, oh, what's the thing?
What's
the
catch?
What's the catch?
What's the catch? What's the cost?
We have to give you our souls. And she's like, that's cute. There's
no such thing. That's cute.
No.
Even if you did, you sold yours, brick by brick earlier. Yeah.
That's so good. And then she says, no. What if the price is deferred? Like, let the next generation foot the bill. Yeah.
Price is deferred.
What'll happen is you'll live your life, and just before you would have died, naturally, normally.
You'll live a long life.
Longer
than any Usher man has ever lived.
And then at the end, everyone goes with you, your entire bloodline.
They all exit the stage together.
Yep.
Your bloodline dies. Your old bloodline is the...
And then Madeline's like, that's interesting offer. And she's like, oh, no, that's for you too there, buddy.
Yeah.
You two die together. Everyone takes a bow together. You die together or no deal, she says.
That's right, yeah.
You know, and they're talking about, like, you know, weighing out what's better. You know, you live for 40 or 50 years of this, like, gilded existence where your life
never want
anything, or you live for 70 or 80 years and your life is full of anxiety and fear and depression and hardship and loss. And I mean, what's better for your child? What would you really want for your child?
Like, this is such a, like, this is where you see the salesman part of Verna. Of like, oh, yeah.
This is her job.
This is the gig, man. This is her job. I like the thing that says that this is her job. I like That whatever she is,
she calls people her clients.
Yes, these are my clients.
Yeah, these are my clients.
Yep.
I work with them. You know,
it's she lures them. She looks hungry at this moment.
She does.
Like she looks hungry. Like she's kind of got those hungry eyes, and it's that real. Almost Disney villain-esque, like take the apple, you know, that kind of thing. It's very much
very temptress.
It's one of the very few times you see her not like it's. I wouldn't say out of control, but showing her hand a little bit more. Really, just laying it out bare. It's very cool.
And her eyes are kind of
darker,
and so it's almost like when Roderick sees her in a vision in an earlier episode where her eyes are kind of black out.
Yeah.
It's sort of very reminiscent of that too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're like, well, like, what is this even? She's like, no, this is an offer.
This is an
on
offer.
The table.
Mm-hmm.
Deal or no deal, you know? And Roderick's
what would you say?
Roderick's like, you have a deal. I'd say you have a deal, you know? Like
that sounds pretty good. I'd say that's a done deal. No, I need you to say it.
You have a deal.
You have a deal.
And then she's like, what about you, Cleopatra?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't. That's his thing.
It's his thing. I don't have kids. I don't got anything. Like, no. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
You're part of the deal, or there's no deal.
And she's like, you have a deal.
You have a deal. I like a deal's a deal all over the world. She says, it's like we used to do this with blood or spit, and then some papyrus later, but. Nah, we're gonna have a drink about it.
She's really happy and satisfied and pleased that they've decided. She's like, this is great.
My client said yes.
Yeah,
I cannot wait. This is gonna be
sale. We made the sale.
We made the sale. Let's celebrate with a beverage.
This commission will be so delicious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
this is gonna be great.
She pulls out a bottle of the same cognac.
Yep, the same cognac they're drinking at the end.
That they're drinking at the end. That Roderick's got. And
this is something that you drink on the best day of your life. Or the last night of your life.
Yeah, your last night on Earth.
Or your last night on Earth.
Yeah, that's how she phrases it. Right. It's so good.
Real pointed at Roderick on that one. Real pointed. Like, great foreshadowing of what's actually happening. Love that. And it's not heavy-handed.
It's also a point that proves he remembers that.
Yes.
He remembers drinking that. He remembers seeing that bottle. He had to look and hunt for that bottle for a while to have it on hand. You know, like... He definitely, like, that's just, it's one of those giveaways that they knew it was real.
Yeah.
It's like Madeline never having kids, you know? It's like those little tells that are like, part of you knew.
You fucking knew. You knew.
Yeah.
You can deny it all you want because that's what every rich dipshit does is deny everything. Now you knew.
So they have their drink. Knew. They cheers to the House of Usher, whose time has finally come. And she sends them on their way. They're like, she's like, lots to do, you two. Lots to do. You're going to be so busy. And they're like, well, we should settle up. We need to pay our tab. And she's like, oh, you just did. We just did.
You just did.
Yeah, you're fine. So they leave, and they're just kind of talking about, like, what a weird fucking night.
Well, it is one of those things. They're leaving at that, like, the sun is at the very beginning of coming up.
Yeah.
So the light is all weird. Like, you never left the club or anything like that.
And it's been dark inside and dark, and you leave, and it's like, it's light starting to happen.
There's a little bit of light, and it's that kind of odd. You're like, oh, wow, we are up late.
Yeah.
And so it's surreal anyway. That lighting is very surreal. Yeah,
and they've been drinking all night, too.
Absolutely.
Like, they have been drinking.
Well, and dude, you're drunk off of murdering somebody. Yeah. You just murdered somebody that you violently hate. And so this is the end of a weird thing that just had a super weird thing happen to you. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It
was so surreal when they exited the bar. They walk out there and they're like, well, and then turn around. It's not that bar.
It's exactly what Madeline saw.
Yeah, it's exactly what Madeline saw when she went back there.
So it's boarded up. The Raven spray painted at the top of it. It looks the same way that Madeline saw it.
They're both like, huh.
And they're both like, what the hell? And so Roderick's kind of explaining, you know, as time we were so freaked out about, or we weren't freaked out. We were dealing with the whole murder thing, you know, and then everything got so busy with work, and everything kind of faded. And once it started fading, it just never seemed real. And then we just kind of blew it off. Like it wasn't a weird, I mean, it was a weird drunk. Night.
Maybe we were a little high. It was a folie à deux.
Yeah.
You know, just a shared imagining.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, you could really kind of buy that too. They're twins. Twins have weird twin.
They got twin
things,
shit
you know?
going, and
like, and he's like, they never found Grizz. And everything happened the way she said it would.
Yep.
I mean, everything has gone down
the exact way.
Exactly the way she said it.
Yep.
And she just became this weird dream.
Yeah, it was just this thing we put in the back of our minds because we were living our lives, which I would think that you would do. You would have to kind of do that, otherwise it would drive you mad.
Yeah.
Like knowing that at some point in time the rent's due.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just kind of.
Yeah, it's like doing a test to know that you're going to get you find out you're going to end up getting a terrible disease, like a fatal disease.
Exactly.
Like you take it when you're like 20 and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, shit.
You know,
mm-hmm.
and you don't know when it's going to come and hit, but you have to live the rest of your life
it's coming.
expecting it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you would put that in the back of your mind. You're dealing with your life. I mean, your wife's about to. At this point, they don't know, but the wife's going to leave here soon, and all of this other stuff is going to go down, and it just is. Why wouldn't you? With their building, we got an empire to build.
Yeah.
Go get them, Cleopatra.
We got shit to do.
Yeah.
Shit to do.
Shit to do, son.
And then he's like, and they bring up, Augie brings up, but you said Arthur Pym found her. And he's like, yeah, he sure did.
Where was she?
Right.
Same place she's been the whole damn time.
Which is in this fucking house.
In this piece of shit house we're sitting in.
So we come to what is the best scene in this entire series, I think. I fucking love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fantastic. So we see Verna walking down the street.
To the cul-de-sac of shame.
To the shameful cul-de-sac. She walks into the house. Immediately, Pym's on her.
Dude,
injects
so
her
efficient.
So fast, efficient. He injects her with something.
She walks in and sees a tarp on the ground. Is like, huh. And then all you see is a needle come out and get her in the neck. I wrote, it's Pym at work, and he's efficient.
He is very efficient. He's really good at his job.
Like, not a wasted movement. Like, not a single wasted movement. Everything is... Drugs her, falls on the thing. She's like...
Yeah, she's having seizures,
pulls out
death
the thing,
throes.
wraps her up with the thing, wraps her up with 4 different things of tape. 1 around the neck, 2 around the body, 1 around the feet. Picks up the
Looks
phone.
like a real good wrapped up dead body.
Wrapped up dead body. He's like, all right, I'm ready for pickup. Then
Verna's
she's like, yeah. Oh, that was beautiful.
And I had the best seat in the house. She said, you are beautiful.
You're beautiful at this. You are beautiful at this.
Admires him so much.
Absolutely.
She's like, I've heard such good things about you.
Artist, man.
And I am so impressed that you have lived up to my hopes and dreams.
Absolutely, yeah. And Pym's going,
what the fuck is happening?
The look on his face of him going, oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he wrapped her up in that tarp.
Yes.
And then when
she walks by, steps on it, and goes,
it's so funny.
Deflates on him.
He's just like, the fuck is happening?
He's like, hey, I apologize. Yeah. It's not personal.
Yeah, it's just my job, And she's like, I tricked you.
She's like, I set you up. I mean, the guy was out there for 2 days watching.
I thought, what the fuck?
I was like, what the fuck?
Why the fuck not?
Fuck it, why not? I want to see what you do.
Yeah. And so, she's like, so I apologize too.
Back.
And
great between these two weird entities, just like this kind of, hey man, I'm sorry. Yep, I'm sorry too, because we've been toying with each other a little bit here, and so
she offers him a drink. She's like really just like super excited to sit down and have a conversation
let's have a chat.
With him.
Here's a drink.
I'm so impressed with you. I'm so impressed with you people, and she talks about the Transglobe expedition, that one of the things that made her come up top side was that she just had to check this out.
I had to see it. Yeah, I had to see it with my own eyes.
People are so cute spending all this money on these fucking like ego trips, literally, that and you could end hunger if you just like quit being assholes for a couple of weeks.
You have the thing, if you just stop making movie and television for 1 year, you'd be able to solve all of your problems with money to spare.
Which is hilarious that this is in a filmmaker's it's very meta. I think it's hilarious.
It's great, but I mean, and she lays it out. She lays out a lot of the the reality.
We're fucking selfish.
Yes, and you weird little creatures.
You're so
adorable. I just want to pinch your cheeks.
Yeah, she talks about some of the horrible things that happened on that expedition.
Oh, you remember the man in the desert?
Yeah.
And that snaps him into a bad way.
Yeah,
like that snaps him into fuck.
Like, you're finding out why he doesn't talk about everything.
Talking about the man in the desert. Oh, what about the guide in the north, up in the ice? Oh, and
that Inuit woman. Yeah.
You didn't
partake. Not you.
But you saw.
And he says, oh, this is such a great line. He said, we're a virus, I think.
We're a virus, I think.
So she says, you saw me.
You saw me. You remember.
You
saw me.
I was standing on the ice.
Standing out there on the ice.
Under the Aurora Borealis.
You didn't think that you saw. You didn't believe it, but you saw me.
And she's like, well, what's going to happen to you after these ushers? You know, like, they're about to, you know, their time is, they got a little time left, but they're about to be gone. And you've enjoyed, you know, some protection, but it's not yours.
It's not yours.
It's theirs, just a reflection of theirs upon you. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen to you?
Yeah. Because corporate justice is a punchline. I like that.
Yeah, she goes through what's going to happen to the company.
It's going to dissolve. It's going to get sold for this amount of money, blah, blah, blah. And this is all, you guys are doing that. This has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, this has got nothing to do with me.
It's got nothing to do with me at all. This is all you.
You know, like, you know, and you can get away with anything. And like I told a client of mine, you know, after I'm through, you could shoot someone in the head on Fifth Avenue and nothing would happen to you. Nothing would happen. Implying, obviously, Trump is a client of hers.
Of course.
Which is fucking hilarious.
Of course.
And then Pim's got a great line. Is his bill coming due soon?
Yeah.
Can't really take much more. And then here we are, 2025.
And here we are,
2025 kids. Oh Lord. At any rate, he's like, well, what are you saying? What are you offering? She's like, well, there's a file.
She was very good at her job.
Camille, she was very good at her job, and she has a file on everyone. She's got a file on you.
And it will be found while they're going through all of this stuff. And
it'll be 20 to life.
Yeah.
And so the question is, will they find it or won't they find it? You know, and that's kind of just
rise like a phoenix out of this, or do you go down for it?
Yeah. And he's like, well, what do you want in exchange? Because I have
like, what do you want?
Yeah,
like, what's the price? What are we talking?
You know, and she's like, well, what do you have? What collateral do you have?
What collateral do you have?
I don't have anything because I won't. I love it. I won't be leveraged.
I won't be leveraged.
Yeah, I have nothing because I won't be leveraged.
Collateral is leverage. And
I'm not going to cede that ground this far into the game or this close to the end, something like that.
Yeah, this close to the end. I'm not. I'm going to play out my hand.
Yeah, I'm going to play out my hand. And then they're so polite to each other. He's like, "But thank you for your generous offer.
I appreciate the offer.
It's very generous.
But I am going to play out my hand."
Yeah. And she's like, well, thank you. And she reaches down and caresses his cheek really sweetly. And it's just like, this has been a pleasure.
And really means it. Like, and enough that she's touching his cheek so gently enough that he closes his eyes about it. Like, it kind of leans into it. Like, and if you've ever loved somebody or been touched like that, you understand.
Yeah.
It is one of those. It is like, because how often does that man get an actual physical touch from somebody that can speak to him as an equal?
I mean, for real.
Nobody can speak to him really as an equal, and especially somebody that isn't going to be able to physical touch him.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a wife, doesn't have any family that he really cares about.
Yeah.
And so
he has no connections.
So it's this great little moment. It proves how fucking powerful Pim is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole scene does, because she's just fucking enamored.
What do you got? I want you on my roster.
Yeah,
I got to get you on my team.
Yeah.
What do we got to do? What do we got to do?
What do we got to do?
And he tells her no.
I got nothing for you, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm playing this out. I've played it already too long.
He's just badass. This is just
he's so
more
awesome.
Proof that he's just a badass.
He's so awesome in that. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's so good.
So we flash to Lenore and Roderick. He's out of the hospital after his incident at the church. When he fell on his head. He doesn't want to stay at a hospital. They're disgusting.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't blame him.
I mean,
I don't like a hospital either.
No.
What are they going to do to you there? Charge you money.
And it's going to beep.
It's just going to be beeping at you.
Beeping all night. And he'd rather be home. He'd rather be.
Of course. And I mean, come on.
And she would rather be there with him than at her home, where she does not ever want to go to again.
No, I don't want to go back there.
The place that her dad ripped her mother's teeth out.
Yeah. That whole thing's a facade.
She asks about Juno. He tells her Juno's left him, basically. And she's got to do her own thing. And
it was like, don't blame her.
Don't blame her. And which, fuck you. Of course, don't blame her.
No, yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, no, you can't blame her. She's got to do her own thing.
Yeah. And Lenore's like, well, look, listen, maybe all this isn't so bad. Like, because Fortunato wasn't good. Like, it wasn't good.
It was bad for us. It was bad for you.
She said it was, she said it wasn't good. And he said, no, but it was mine.
But it was mine.
Yeah. But Lenore's like, let's use this as an opportunity to try to fix things. Like, we've done bad stuff. Like,
we've done bad stuff, Grandpa. And we have more money than you could ever spend.
Yeah, we don't have
more money than I could ever spend. Like, it's
right.
We can fix things. We can fix this. And
she's really hesitant to say that she'd be willing to take over the company ever. She doesn't want to do that.
She doesn't want to do that. She wants nothing to do with
that.
It's bad.
And it's icky.
It's rough.
But she's staying with him that night. She's staying at the house. Mm-hmm. She's getting ready for bed, brushing her teeth.
Yep.
And she walks into the bedroom to find Verna sitting on her bed. And this is another really
raven-looking Verna.
Yeah.
Tight sides.
Yeah, business Verna.
And staring off into that middle distance style. Like, you walk in and somebody's creepily sitting on your bed like that.
Well, and she's immediately like, who are you? She's just like, shh. She like shushes her, quiets her, and has her sit, like, gestures for her to sit next to her. She was like, I love my job.
Listen, there are days I really love my job,
but there are moments that bring me no joy. Yeah. I need you to know that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, let me tell you a story about your mother.
I told them. Like,
before that she's like, I
told them.
And I don't understand why they were always too busy thinking about themselves and what's next.
I told them. She's so disappointed at this point.
Yeah.
Because she does have to do this really shitty job. But yeah, like, just the way that I told them.
Yeah.
Oh God, why didn't you just listen?
Yeah. So she's there to kill Lenore because Lenore's part of the bloodline. Just because she's not the next generation, she's part of the
your
family.
House dies with you.
Yeah, and that's everybody.
That's everyone.
So then to let her know before she kills her.
Yeah, she's like, I want you to really listen to me.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to the story.
And she runs through like how Maury
her mom recovers.
How Maury's going to recover, and that she's going to get better because she's in the hospital.
Going through 100 surgeries,
a bunch of skin grafts. But she gets better. She gets stronger, and then she uses the money that she
gets a chunk of money from Fortunato.
So she uses that money because she and Juno are going to be the only
people that get
So she uses a chunk of that money. I guess Bill T.
Bill.
We don't really get a recap on Bill.
Nope.
But she uses that money to start a foundation that's for domestic abuse survivors and to help
the Lenore
Foundation. Yep. And she's going to start that, and she's going to save a lot of lives. Like, in a decade, there's going to be more than 3 million lives she saved. And then from there, you can't even count.
It's tough to start counting because of those people helped other people.
Yeah.
And they helped other people. And
it's
the
so
math becomes
beautiful.
too hard. It's gorgeous.
And it's great. Like, and Lenore's just listening to her, talk to her. And
you did that.
Like, this is the really important part, and I really need you to listen. You did that.
You did that.
When you took her out of that house, when you defied your father, when you did that, you helped all of these people.
You did that. Your choice saved millions of people. You saved them. Like, you, at the very root of that, you saved those people.
And that echoes through millions and millions of people,
Yeah.
And then she just gently touches her head. And this is like such a thing that she's told several of these kids that they could have if they just...
If you
just made a little bit of a different choice.
Made a little bit of a different choice and not be such a dick, then it could have just been easy and just done. Just touches her head and she just falls to sleep.
Yep, and she's just gone. And so we're back to Augie and Roderick, and Augie's like, "No, Lenore's not dead.
She's not dead.
That's fucking. She's been texting you all night. Like, she's texting you right now. What the fuck are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, see,
this is so grim."
He's like, "See, the thing is that that project that Madeline was working on. She basically, used Lenore as a beta tester for it. So basically this Lenore bot, got kicked on somehow, and this is what's been texting him all night.
It's been just sending me some nonsense.
And it's Nevermore.
And he just pulls his phone out and shows it over to, and it just says Nevermore in a lot of different ways.
1,000 different ways that you could spell it or like
numbers,
shorten
letters,
it.
shorten it, all of it. Like it's Nevermore just over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. And then he starts reciting the beginning of the opening lines of the Raven.
Yeah.
And man, this man can read some.
Dude, those first couple lines, I don't know how he croaks those out the way he does, but intense. It is guttural and real. And sometimes, like, reading Poe can get really sing-songy.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean? And it just gets a little bit too down to do. It's all very, very...
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
No, there's so much more to it. God, dog, does he nail this performance.
Yeah, he really does.
He nails this performance. It's, oh my God, he's so good in this point.
Yeah.
At this point, he's so awesome.
Yeah, and he's found Lenore. He's just broken because she's right. It's like it didn't even fucking occur to him.
He didn't think about that.
Lenore was going to die too, and he is just gutted, broken over this. This is like the final straw in his that's keeping him sane is just broken. It's
done. Over. He's shattered.
And so there's the Ravens. There's fucking Ravens in the house. The Ravens
cawing around, and he goes and he picks up he's got a fire poker.
Yeah, like shades of Tamerlane. So he's got the fire poker. And he's swinging it around at the Raven.
She's appearing in the background.
Lenore, we see a flash of Lenore a couple of times, and then a flash of lightning, and she's dead at his feet.
Dead at his feet, laying there. You get the whole fantastic. He loves the spin around of a character.
Flanagan loves that.
Loves going around and around.
Yeah, they definitely did a nice job with that. And then next we're at Fortunato, and we're in that office. We're in that boardroom that we've been in where we've had all the shitty family meetings, basically.
Yep.
And all the dead kids, all his dead kids and grandchild are around the table.
Well, he's just sitting there at the window and is like, well, I guess we're actually doing this, and turns around and all the kids are dead, just sitting there, white-eyed, dead, looking at him.
Yeah. And then he goes on this like tirade where he's like, basically, again, not taking any responsibility for any of his shit.
No.
And he's like, I took away pain. I took away their pain. And that wasn't enough. Mm-mm. It wasn't enough. I took away everyone's pain. And look what it got me. And that's when Verna shows up. And we get it. Oh, honey, don't kid a kidder.
Standing down at the very end of it's so
and it's
good.
This is very reminiscent of her in front of that wall too. It's a very
very powerful.
She's very powerful,
very
she's
commanding,
clearly in charge of every situation now.
Clearly,
and
she's good. Like, you're good,
yeah,
kid.
You're good. You've done so good for sheer body count, man. You're in my top.
You're in my top 5.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. When you think about the people she's probably been involved with, that he's in the top 5 of body count. You look out the window, it's raining, but it's also literally raining.
Also, it goes, something big falls, but you're like, what? And so you can see it just a little from the lighting, and you see more. It's just bodies, just corpses, just falling from the sky, illuminated by light, and it's just pouring. They're pouring down, landing on top of the roofs, on the ground. They're all piled up.
Horrifying. Raining, and then raining bodies.
Yeah. You've got these stats, you've got this stat, you got that, but you and I both know it's millions.
Yeah, and this is your legacy.
Millions.
These
this
bodies,
is your legacy.
That's your legacy.
Is it. Yeah.
Your legacy isn't anything else. I'm like, why did you even come here tonight? You just need one more look at this. She's really goading him at this point, too.
Very much
One more look at your great tower, your pyramid,
Mm-hmm. Great tower. I love that. Yeah. Great imagery.
And then she's right next to him and kind of snuggles.
She's snuggling him.
She's like, our business is almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done.
And then she's the one that tells him to make sure to call Augie.
I need you to call August Dupin.
Yeah.
I had a thought during this that Roderick, he got to have the best costume, like for the majority of his shooting, because he's just in pajamas and a robe.
Yeah.
How awesome. What a great thing to have to put on to go to work in.
Super comfy.
Weird to do a lot of these intense lines and stuff like that in your PJs, but so good.
Yeah, that is true.
Like I was like, As a performer, that would be really nice just to have to put on pajamas every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all right. Call August Japan. Time to go. Well, and he's hanging. She's like, stay here for a bit.
Yeah.
Look at your stuff.
Enjoy
the fruits of your labors.
You know what's really funny about the costume thing is 24, the first season of 24, Kim Bauer, his daughter, is wearing this like these really cute like tight pants and this really cute little croppy top, and she's like a really like cute teenage girl running around, and she was like the second season she was like, I better be in some fucking comfortable pants.
Put me in comfortable pants.
Bullshit. Like having to wear that costume for that long because literally they wear this, everything takes place over a day. So literally they wear the same costume the entire fucking show.
Man, yeah,
so funny.
Give me some pants, please.
Yeah.
Something comfortable.
Please, thank you. Yeah, she was like, I want a shirt with sleeves next season.
That would be great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But so Augie's asking, he's finally like asked about Madeline because you can hear her banging
around in the basement, again. Man. Still more.
So we see a flash to her showing up that night.
That's another great transition.
Yeah,
it's like, that's Madeline. And she walks in through the front door.
Yeah.
And then it transfers us back to.
It's so good.
When he's like, what's going on? I'm in the basement.
Yeah. So Madeline's called her to come over.
Yeah.
And so she goes down to the basement to meet him, and he has filled up the basement with all kinds of shit.
All the treasure.
And some of it's hers. She's like, what the fuck,
Those
dude?
eyes, the knives, all the stuff, all of the stuff that's everywhere.
Yeah, he sent her a message about Lenore, and she's like, I got your message. I don't even know what to say, you know? So she's like, that's it, isn't it? You know, this is it, you know, basically. And they're kind of.
Yeah, and she's giving us a little time to have a conversation. Yeah. I don't know what we're supposed to do, but.
And so he's like, do you want a drink? She's like, yeah. So he passes her one that he's already poured. And they're having a conversation, you know, like, well, we did what we said. We changed the world. We did what we said we were going to. She asked why he's brought all that shit there. He's like, well, this is our tomb.
This is our tomb.
And this is what you have to do.
This is what you do for pharaohs and kings. I mean, yeah.
So he's having this really like grim thing where he's brought all of his fancy shit into the basement of his house to just die there. Yeah. And Madeline says, you know, like the real question is, would we have done anything different if we had believed that woman in the bar was real? And then she kind of goes on a rant about, it's great, about what a shithole the world is.
While drinking.
While
he's sniffing.
Yeah, while he's sniffing. How grim and shitty capitalism is. But it's like not, you think, like, at first it's kind of like, yeah, anti-capitalism. But she actually twists it and puts all the blame on the consumers.
Yes,
so instead of like, we produced what they wanted. They had appetites. So
they're screaming for it. Yeah, we gave them what they want.
And now we're the villains because we gave the people what they were asking for.
That's how they say us. Yeah, that's exactly right. They're twisted everything.
Like, they blame us. They fucking invented us. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, fuck it. If we're going to die, we're going to die. But if this woman's going to kill me, she's going to have to look me in the eyes.
Yeah.
If she wants Madeline Usher, she's going to have to look me straight in the eyes.
And he is sitting there watching her, enamored by of what she's saying. Just like, really, like, literally chin on his hands, watching, just loving the show.
Yeah.
Loves watching her. Loves when she gets fired up.
Because this is like her at her, like, finest, when she is like, she's just spitting, you know, she means business, and she's
on fire, just doing it.
And then she stands up and she's pitches all over the place, you know, and now he's either poisoned her or given her a paralytic, you know, like, that's what we've done. She is down for the count.
Yep.
And because she's like, what the fuck?
You motherfucker.
That's what it was. You motherfucker. She realizes what he's done.
Yep.
And he's like, he tells her, you're a queen, you're a goddess, and you're going to live forever. And then he proceeds to,
pulls out that big gold knife, pulls out those jeweled eyeballs.
The little nosy, shaky things. Yeah, he's going to fucking mummify her.
Dude.
Or at least partially mummify her.
Why? I know you're nuts, but why do this? Why? I'm going to gouge out her eyes, and we'll stick them rocks down there. Looks like he cut her tongue out or something.
Yeah, he cut her tongue out.
Cut her tongue out. Like, I understand, like, doing the mummification stuff. Put her in, like, she's got this weird
like
white
a nightgown
thing on.
Yeah.
Like, this, like, that's mad. madness. I was like, why? Oh my god.
Yeah, it is nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yep. Send her off as a queen.
Messy. Yeah, he wants to send her off as a queen, so he fucking tried to mummify her. And Augie's like horrified. He's
Holy shit.
Well, after you did that, were you sure she was
dead? Sure she was dead. And the look on his face, he's so wild at this point.
Yeah, his
Roderick
eyes are crazy.
Like, well,
that's a good point. Our mother was the same way.
Our mother was the same way. The way he throws that out there is like, oh no.
And then he's like, thanks, Augie.
Thank you.
So,
are you sure she was dead? I don't even know, man.
That's a really good point.
I just did a whole bunch of weird shit to her.
And then
it's this build is
yeah.
smashing as like up the steps. The music is like chains and drums.
It's
and
so
just,
intense.
It build.
And storming, like lightning.
The rain, the lightning, all of this stuff, and then it goes, stops. You want my real confession?
Yeah. So you ready for my confession? Here it is.
I knew.
Deep down in the witching hour.
Yeah, I knew. I knew that this many bodies were going to come with it. I knew what I wanted to do, and I did it anyway. I knew.
And it's a confession that he knew what was the truth about Ligadome.
Yes.
But also that he knew what he had done with this, what he had agreed to in this bar.
I knew.
On that night.
I knew it.
Yeah, like to me, it's a confession to both. It's like acknowledging that he knew that what he was agreeing to. He knew that his kids
I made the deal. Yeah,
I made that deal. I killed and that's why I killed my kids.
That's right.
I killed them, and I knew I killed them.
I knew I did
chose
it.
to do
it was me. I did it. I knew.
Oh, it's so intense,
dude. And then, she comes busting out of the damn basement.
He says right before that, he says he's like going on and on about the Ligadone and like the biggest racket that they said was that it was a painkiller and you can't kill pain. Imagine if we had put that on the bottle. And then he thinks for a second. He's like, I bet I still could have sold it. And then Madeline, boom,
busts out screaming,
bloody mess.
Ah, blood. No eyes.
That's the only time we've seen her ever out of control.
No, why?
Clearly, she's
like her mom.
She's like the mom,
just like the mom came back from the dead for a minute to get some
to get some revenge.
Get that revenge on the whole thing.
Yeah, and she just strangles him to death.
And like Madeline, and she runs over at him and just gets him by the throat, and dives on top of him. Then the building starts shaking and things start falling off the boards and whatever. Augie's looking around, freaking out. She's choking the life out of him. Great view of him getting choked to death, and then from her perspective, looking down on him, just screaming in his face. Augie takes off towards the door and does one of the coolest slides. I've not noticed this in any of my watchings of this. He slides like at least 5 feet at the door, runs and lands and goes to the door, opens it up. A real hot shot escape kind of stuff.
And the place is just crumbling around him. He barely makes it out. It's great. And then we get a little voiceover that's from the end of the Fall of the House of Usher, the short story. That's really well done by August. And then he's kind of going through the aftermath of everything.
Well, you get the whole place is toast, and he turns around and he looks, and there's this rubble.
Yeah.
It's just rubble. Looks up, and she's standing up on top of it.
Yeah, she's standing on Verna's standing up on top of it. That's such a great shot.
And it's lightning, and so you only see her a little, and she kind of turns her head down so you can see that glow in her eyes, and it's like, what? And then the light flashes again, and now she's the Raven and flies by him.
It's so good.
Fabulous.
This is such a great ending. So then he's kind of running through, we get that voiceover and it segues into him kind of running through like what's happened since everybody died. And, he's like, my case is pointless now. So that's done deal.
He's packing that shit up.
He's retiring.
I'm going to retire.
He's going to retire. He's going to enjoy the rest of his life. Juno dissolved Fortunato and started the Phoenix Foundation for Addiction. Arthur Pym was arrested.
Yep.
The only one who was arrested and convicted to have anything to do with the entire Fortunato thing.
Vernon was there to watch him get taken to
I love it. Watching him be taken into the court. I love it. It's so fantastic.
Respect. It's like, it's one of those real respect.
She's like, I want to see this. I want to see this man.
I got to see this man one more time.
So fantastic.
So good. He didn't say a word. Didn't say a word in his own defense. Didn't speak at all.
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Of course not.
Just fucking awesome.
Arthur Pym.
Yeah.
A man.
He will not be leveraged.
He will not be leveraged.
No.
So, and then we say Augie's doing this voiceover is happening while Augie's at the cemetery talking to Rodger's, Roderick. Why do I keep calling him Roger? Roderick's gravestone.
Yeah,
his tombstone.
It's all of them together.
Yeah, and it's striking to see all
black, like new graves.
All of these new, fresh graves with these stark black headstones, like black marble. It's really, it's visually incredible.
So cool, so cool looking.
And he's like, I don't really know what to do with this. And he's got the camera.
He's got the voice recorder thing.
The recorder thing that he took the confession on. He's like, because honestly, I don't fucking care why you did it.
I don't fucking care.
And I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
And yes, it sure did. It 100% did.
But he's like, I'm going home to my family, to my husband, to my kids, to my grandkids.
Yep.
I'm the richest man in the world. I'm the richest
man in the world. I love that. It's such a great fuck you. Like, who cares about your explanation?
Yeah,
your
we don't
whining,
need it.
Nobody needs it.
I'm fucking tired of you. And you don't get any more of my time. You don't get any more of my energy.
I'm done with it. I'm done with all of y'all.
Yeah. So we see the Raven fly in, and the next time we see he's walking away. He sees the Raven. He's walking away, and then we see Verna is there,
and all black,
mourning her clients.
Yep.
And she's leaving little trinkets like a serial killer.
Yeah, just little things.
So she's got for a first kill for Prospero.
Prospero, it's a mask.
For Perry, it's a mask. Mm-hmm. Then second we had Camille.
Camille was a phone. And
then we have who died third?
It was the collar.
Yes,
the
cat collar for Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had
it was the heart. The heart got set down next. The heart mesh was set down.
The heart mesh was set down next, and then it was a gold bug, the gold bug from the box.
Yep.
And then it was a bag of cocaine.
Yep. For old Frodrick.
For Madeline, it was Lenore.
It was a black feather,
a raven
with
feather
roses.
with a white rose, really beautiful,
very pretty, pretty. And she treats it,
gently,
very lovingly. It's very sweet,
so careful. She puts the sapphires for Madeline.
Yep.
And then for Roderick, she puts up a crystal glass that he drank out of that first night.
Yep.
I love the trinkets like a serial killer. It makes me really happy. And then we get the great her great recitation of the poem, which is Spirits of the Dead.
Yes.
That we hear a couple of times, like we hear it in the funeral, and she maybe hits a couple lines of it from time to time, but we get almost a full recitation of that poem, and it's fantastic. It's
beautifully
so
done,
good.
Wonderfully done.
And that, my friends,
that's that. And it, like the pull away of all of the real fresh graves with all these shiny black, and everything else is normal.
Yeah, everything great. Yeah, everything looks like gray. You know, like an older cemetery, but everything.
And so it's like that obsidian harkening back to the Egyptian whatever, all that imagery. Cool, so cool. What a great smash up of all of these stories into one incredible tale. Yeah, I loved this so much.
It's such a great way to adapt so many different pieces all at once. You know, to be able to tackle so many different works of Poe in one big overreaching piece is fantastic.
I mean, if Poe is too much to read sometimes, this is a great way to, if you ever were into, like, I like the idea of the macabre things, but man, some of his shit is a little too flowery, and I don't know how to read it quite right or whatever.
Right.
This is an excellent way to digest all of these stories so well.
Yeah, I think too, if you're just generally a fan of like gothic horror, this is a really fun series.
Absolutely.
It's and it's not as emotionally taxing as some of Flanagan's other series. You know, Midnight Mass is heavy. It's got a lot of religious shit in there, and that can be a lot for people. Hill House is a really emotional journey.
A lot of emotions tied in that one.
This series is I love this series because it's a little bit more fun. It's kind of Midnight Club is a little bit more fun too, and it's you know, it's nice to still be in the genre that we love, to still, be with the actors that we love and the director, writer that we love, but to also, I don't know, be able to dive into this
Oh, it's wonderful to watch. All right, let's just watch bad people have what.
If you're tired of rich people, this is a very good series for you to enjoy. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us for all of this. Flanagan is going to take a wee little hiatus for a couple of weeks, and then we're going to be back with some movie episodes, I think is what we're going to start with next. I think the biggest vote getters so far have been Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep, which I'm super excited about because I love both of those so much. And I'm a huge Stephen King fan. So we're going to be popping those off in the next couple of weeks. And then if you're a part of our Patreon program, I think if you're in for $5 a month or more, you can vote on the next series we're going to cover as well. Don't forget our sister podcast, The Articulate Coven, which is covering all of Anne Rice's delicious works. And we're currently in season 2 of the Mayfair Witches. So that series is on AMC Plus. So if you want to get your witch on with us, come hang out. So that's kind of what's going on with us.
That's what's going on. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and talking with us and just chilling out for a little bit. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Really and if you have any additional feedback for this series, don't stop giving it because we'll revisit it.
We'll take it, man. I love some notes. Love your thoughts. Love your opinions. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging with us. And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Flan Again, a Mike Flanagan rewatch from The Articulate Coven. If you want our videos and audio early and ad-free, visit articulatecoven.com/join and join the coven.